Right, to other stories, the United Nations refugee is very concerned about the refugee situation in Armenia. He's calling for urgent international aid, and we'll have a report. I will bring you that report in subsequently, but let's turn to other stories. This year's Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine has been awarded to Katalin Karikó and Drew Weissman for their work on mRNA vaccines, which were crucial in curtailing the spread of COVID-19. Karikó and Weissman published their results in a 2005 paper that received little attention at the time, the Nobel Prize Committee said, but later laid the foundation for critically important developments that served humanity during the COVID pandemic. The committee raised the scientists' groundbreaking findings, which fundamentally changed our understanding of how mRNA interacts with our immune system. The laureates contributed to the unprecedented rate of vaccine development during one of the greatest threats to human health in modern times, the committee added in a statement. Richard Sandberg, a member of the Nobel Prize in Medicine Committee, said mRNA vaccines, together with other COVID-19 vaccines, have been administered over 13 billion times. Together, they have saved millions of lives, prevented severe COVID-19, reduced the overall disease burden, and enabled societies to open up again. This year's Nobel Prize recognizes their basic science discovery that fundamentally changed our understanding of how mRNA interacts with the immune system. Back to our earlier report, the United Nations Refugee Commission is very concerned about the refugee situation in Armenia. It is calling for urgent international aid. We have a report.
The United Nations Refugee Agency is deeply concerned by the rapidly evolving humanitarian emergency in Armenia, with over 88,000 refugee arrivals in less than a week. Refugees are mainly arriving at the Syunik region in southern Armenia. The government has assumed the responsibility of providing protection and assistance with the support of UNHCR and other UN agencies and NGOs. UNHCR is leading the interagency refugee response, working with the UN Resident Coordinator's Office. An interagency response plan is being finalized to be followed by a joint financial appeal. UNHCR teams have been at the border for 2 days since the first groups of refugees arrived, exhausted, frightened, and apprehensive about the future. They have been living under blockade for the past 9 months. They do not know what will happen to the homes they fled from and whether they will return. They are anxious about what will happen to them now and worry about whether their children will be able to access education. Most arrived with very few belongings and require urgent emergency assistance, including blankets, beddings, medical and psychosocial support, and shelter in the immediate term. The refugees are being registered by the government at centers at the border, while there are about 10 additional humanitarian centers in other regions. In addition to registration, these centers offer immediate psychosocial support, snacks, and play area for children. The authorities are providing temporary accommodation to new arrivals with no relatives in Armenia. UNHCR urgently calls on the international donor community for solidarity and responsibility sharing to enable Armenia to respond to this unfolding humanitarian emergency.